It was established, understood that when he called Levi, that he would inherit the priesthood. But something they didn't inherit was land. God was bringing them into the promised land. The priest, he set aside the tribe of Levi. He said, you will be my priest, but while everybody else is getting land, you will not have land like everyone else. My priesthood to you is your inheritance. We see this in Joshua chapter 18, verse 7. The Levites, however, will not receive any allotment of land. Their role as priests of the Lord is their allotment. That's what God says. Now, everybody else is going to be given, and they will be supporting the priesthood, but they were not to have land. In addition to leading the people in worship, we see other duties that God gave to them. In Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 5, here's what God says concerning the priests. Then the priests, the sons of Levi, shall come forward, for the Lord your God has chosen them to minister to him and to bless in the name of the Lord. And by their word every dispute and every assault shall be settled. So Levites, in addition to the priestly role of sacrifices and prayers, they were to settle issues over the law. That's the Torah. Acting as judges. Second, they were mediators between the sinful people and a holy God. So we know Levi fulfilled his commitment to God because God praised him. God says, for he as a man feared me. And that word fear means that Levi honored God. The very thing these priests, who are supposed to be descendants from Levi, are not doing. They're not honoring him. They are not fearing God. So God says to them, you are not living a life of godly commitment. Let me ask us this morning, are you living a life of godly commitment? Are you honoring God in your life? If you were to go back home today and you take a pen and a pencil and to write down a simple question, how am I honoring God with my life, with my time, with my money, with my energy? If you were to take stock of this week and lay it all down, what would your write-up accounting for your time look like? Has it been spent in any meaningful way serving God? You see, guys, it's easy for us to say these things with our lips, myself included, so don't hear me speaking to you. Even as a pastor, I have to be careful how I steward time. Secondly, so not only must spiritual leaders be people of godly commitment, spiritual leaders must be people of godly character. God said he gave Levi a covenant of life and peace. It was also a covenant of fear. Interesting combination. When fear is used in the Bible, it could mean two things, at least. Terror or reverence. It could mean terror, like when God was giving the law to Israel on Sinai in Exodus chapter 20. And there was thunder and lightning. The mountain is smoking. Smoke is coming out of this mountain. And the people are hearing these rumblings, and God is giving the law, and they get scared. They get scared. My wife doesn't like lightning. When it starts to rain and there's lightning, you just hear the blah, 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 blah. She comes and hugs me. I love those days. She comes and she hugs me. She doesn't like lightning and thunder. Some people just get scared by that. These folks got scared because the ground was shaking. And they said, Moses, you go to God. Let him talk to you. Then you come talk to us. We will do what he says to do. That's terror, fright. But then there's the other meaning of fear. It means reverence. To hold and stand in awe of someone. Respect and awe of a holy God. You know, I pray for that. I could do pastoral ministry. Pastors could do this. Ministry leaders, you know yourselves. You could do ministry and do it without the fear of God. You could wake up every day, and because you know the tasks to do, you could do the tasks. And if anybody was watching you, they would give you the thumbs up. But let me ask you a question. Are you doing it in the fear of God? As service to this holy God. Not just your external task, but I'm saying that when God examines your heart, the motive, the why behind the what you do, will God look at you and say, this is my servant who is offering acceptable sacrifice to me, because she or he rightly discerns that I am a God who deserves to be honored and feared? Will God look at your motive and it is pure in His sight? That you are serving for the glory of one alone, not to be seen by people, not to be praised by people, not so that pastors can give you a thumbs up, not so that people in your group will say, oh, what a wonderful worker you are. And it's good to give praises and to recognize people, and we want to do that. Oh, but I pray that you do not live for that. Right? I pray you don't live for the praises of men. That is vanity. I pray you live for the praise of one. The praise of God. That praise will resound into eternity. It will begin now, and you will hear it, oh, good and faithful servant, on that day. And boy, what a stage, because all the world, when we are gathered together, God will praise you and give you accolades in the presence of everyone who has ever lived. Because that's what that end time rewards is about. Your rewards will be open. So let me ask us, who are you living for? Who are you living for? What are you living for? There'll be good days, there'll be bad days, even in my pastoral ministry. Good days, bad days. And I pray for grace for the bad days especially. When things are going well, we all do well. We kind of get along and happy to do the things we want to do. But oh, on those bad days, oh, when your flesh and everything inside of you is cringing and saying, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to get out of bed. Oh, don't tell me one more thing to do for the church or for God. I just want to veg. I just want to watch TV all day today. I'm not in a good mood. Don't bother me. Oh, on those days. Oh, how we need grace for those days, especially those days. Oh, your service. You may come to clean. You may come to pick up this. You may give and send your money for giving to the church. Oh, what heart? What heart? With what heart did you send that offering? Did you check to see who you're offering it to? Even we need to be careful with digital giving. We need to be careful with digital giving. It's very convenient, but I fear that sometimes we are detached from the service, the honor, the fear, the glory for God. It's a click, 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 it's gone. Oh, but Father, I thank you for providing the money that I have, the job that I have, the health that I have, to be able to earn this money. And Father, I send it to you now. I give it as an offering, a sacrifice to you. So my family and I, we have taken our monthly giving and we are praying and we are sending it to you, Father. Receive it as an offering for me. My heart discerns God rightly. Is your service just becoming mechanical, automated, disinterested service? God says, folks, it is pathetic sacrifice. Oh, that we would have a generation of people who would serve Jesus passionately, first by discerning Him rightly. Serve Jesus with honor, honorably, when you discern Him rightly, correctly. To fail to do so will be for you to become an apathetic worshiper offering pathetic sacrifices. And God says, I will not accept them. Thirdly, spiritual leaders must be people of godly communication. So true servants of God must preach God's word faithfully without fear or favor. Pray for your pastors about that. Pray for all pastors about that. We live in a culture today where we are swimming against the tide. There used to be a time when we would call us part of the moral majority. We're no longer that. And so the temptation now for pastors and ministers is to kind of massage God's word. Some pastors no longer believe that this is God's infallible, inerrant word. It should be preached without fear or favor.
Please subscribe and hit the notification bell for more truth and to spread the light of Jesus Christ.